Cradle Catholic, 4th grade altar server, Eagle Scout. One would think that everything would be perfect in my faith life. You would be mistaken. You see, there was a time a couple years ago when I fell away from the church. I could no longer find it within me to make it to Mass, and my whole life was affected by it. There's a few reasons for the lapse, the usual ones. That time in my life, it seemed everything was going wrong. I had total rage against the heavens thing going on. You know, asking why God had abandoned me. It wasn't really a matter of questioning God's existence, but rather my place in the world and why things were going so badly. Of course, it was not a good position to be in. There was a vicious cycle going on. Failure would lead to despair and so on and so forth. And that bitterness really led into a spiritual dead zone. It's hard to be faithful when there's a darkness in one's heart. A darkness that is caused by feelings of abandonment and of being stuck in place, especially in the workplace. Just felt like there was no place to go. And not even the light of church could change that. And then just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, God above sends me an angel. Not just one to serve as a guardian, but a being of inspiration. A messenger like in the old days, if you will. It really seems that people can be put into our lives for a reason. The angel's name was Lindsay from Dawson Career Services. Meeting her changed my life, truly. So now you know. That meeting was when God gave me the opportunity to turn everything around. Her presence was like a supernova. Getting to stop what I was doing and find a way out of that place, it was really a huge game changer, both on a personal and professional level. And once I did get this opportunity, I realized it was all part of the plan. It came down to being made to feel as if I was in the right place at the right time. The whole swerve and change of direction gave me the opportunity to reopen my heart and allowed me to find peace in everything. I now know that God has a plan for me and for you, even if it is not immediately recognizable. Sometimes it really does take a long, winding path, but it is worth it. I was in one place, and then became time to step into the next chapter, someplace where I could go and finally thrive, as everything was intended. This idea of a plan goes back to Scripture. I knew you before you were formed in the womb. That shows that God truly loves and supports us and wants the best. Maybe we are most happy when we are following the path set out before us. Because our God is really an awesome God, one who loves us and gives us grace. Grace, of course, being the undeserved mercy present among us. Because we are loved and meant to be at peace. This plan surrounds us and is our pathway in this life. It may seem cliche to say it, but it's like a butterfly that flaps its wings and somewhere else the winds blow. But I find truth and beauty in that idea. Getting to realize this experience and being on this true course of action really led to a spiritual renewal and inspired me to step back into the church. I believe I am blessed to be able to look at life and know what it is to be part of a higher calling. That is what broke me out of the dead zone finally. Because the darkness was lifted away and replaced with light and a sense of purpose. And there's really peace knowing that. There is grace out there, provided by the loving God. And since that time, I've been striving to be more engaged with my faith and rejoin the community and ministries. Even the smallest bit can help. Part of that has been involved finding a new favorite Bible verse. Of course, John 3:16 is always going to be a classic, but to me, Matthew 5:13, the one about being the salt of the earth, it really speaks to me and connects with me. We are called to be part of something greater, to be in this world, but not of it. So yes, we all may fail sometimes, but as long as we seek the truth and make an authentic effort to follow the path set before us, we will succeed with God's help, because of the grace and because He loves us. And don't forget about the importance of the Eucharist. Being in a state of sin or not feeling worthiness can indeed draw you away from the path. So be careful of feeling that you're not worthy because you are loved. This darkness is something that all of us experiences at one point or another, but we are all connected as well. So if you see someone who's struggling a little bit in their faith, take the opportunity to ask them to Mass or just to check on them. Who knows, maybe the path set before you is that you're someone's angel. After all, there's a plan in the works. I do believe that. And remember, the Force will be with you, always. Any questions? Thank you and God bless.
I like the insight about the Force at the end. Can I actually ask you, Tom, what would be, like, one of the things about your story, the themes, is that, whatever word you want to use, we use different words, lapsed, fallen away, or just not around, whatever. Mm-hmm. What would have been helpful to you, as someone who was away? Or questions we could have asked? You kind of hinted at it at the end.
I guess just, hey, have you been to Mass lately, or how are you feeling?
How are you feeling? Basic.
Mm-hmm.
And can you say a little bit more about what brought you away from the church? Were there particular factors in your own life?
I'd say it's just the feeling of having to rage against the heavens. It's just a feeling of abandonment, and that.
Do you find now, Tom, that's like easier to see like God's grace or mercy or presence in hard times you've had since you've been rekindled with your faith, or that is it easier to not feel that abandonment or not feel that loneliness now that you've come back, or are you still feeling like that same struggle?
No, it's definitely been. I can definitely see how, even if things are going in a different direction, that it's could be a good thing.
Okay.
And then when you went and when Lindsay came and helped you with the job search,
Mm-hmm.
just the sense of both the kindness she showed you and also the getting a job that you wanted, and how did you turn that corner? Is there anything else that happened? Tell me more about that.
I mean, it was a miracle. Right place, right time.
So did she help place you with the job you're at now then?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And how did you meet Lindsay?
Because I was put on the path of wanting to move on from where I was. and she was the start of the next chapter.
What would be the biggest piece of advice that you have for someone that is struggling with their faith and it may or may not know it or wanting to come back?
Have trust in the Lord, know that you are loved and there is peace out there.
You can answer this to extend as you want to. But you said have a cause of why you're struggling with faced with anger.
Mm-hmm.
Who would what with anger like really drive towards?
Against God, because I felt that He was abandoning me, and
But what specific reason?
it goes back to that despair I mentioned, because there's just this overwhelming feeling that I was lost, and that led me to reach out in anger, basically.
Well, was there any part of the church that really allowed you to reconnect, whether that be Mass, whether that be Bible study? Was there any part that really drew you back in?
A little bit of everything, but I definitely was able to look at Mass in a new light. Learn to reappreciate the beauty of our rituals and the real presence in the Eucharist.
Other than Mass, is there any particular devotion that you're drawn to, or a form of prayer, or like the Psalms or something?
No, not really. My prayer life is pretty basic.
Yeah, nothing is the best. You're a faithful altar server, Tom. You're much better than I ever was.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Did you do that when you were younger, or did you start when you were adult? You did it when you were younger, eh?
Yep.
In your home parish?
Mm-hmm.
Where was that?
St. Cecilia. It's suburbs of out on the west side.
And that's something you still like doing?
Mhm.
It's just it's part of the whole meaning and salt of the earth thing, something you can contribute, I guess.
We all have ways to serve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Others too, that made me think of Tom is like we joke, like our leadership team, like we need to give like, what do we call those things, like accolades or something, because Tom is literally almost at every single service event that we have. Yeah, like we need like a, like a kid's certificate, but like, thanks for coming to all our events, you know what I mean, like all our service, like you really do have a heart of servitude. That's a perfect imagery. I didn't even connect that with your, but that's very interesting that, I wonder, have you always been like that, Tom, or do you feel like you've stepped up your servitude since you've been reunited with your relationship with God?
No, I would say that particular aspect of charity is an ongoing thing.
Okay.
I can say when we're planning service projects, sometimes Julie and I will be talking, I'm like, well, I don't know how to do our job. It's like, okay, well, I can be there. Tom's going to be there.